Today I want to show you the recipe of Cuzzupi.
The Cuzzupi, some call Kuduri, Guti, so something like that. So I'm gonna do this in few steps, so you can join me different times during the day, because this will take at least 6 hours. And my version for this recipe is online. So if you check my website, lucianoschipano.com, you may find the link also in my profile, so you can go in my profile, you click link trees, you have a list of websites that I ran and I own, and lucianoschipano.com, under recipes you found your pane di Pasqua or Cuzzupe di Pasqua, so we're gonna do it today. So let's start from the ingredients. If you want to do this online today and you have the ingredients at home, so please join me. You print the recipe again on lucianoschipano.com, and we're gonna do this together. So what we need is 450 grams of flour. So I already weighed all the ingredients that I have here. 2 eggs, please room temperatures. Okay, the eggs, they work room temperature. We never use cold eggs. So if you're willing to bake something, take them out a couple hours before, so to get like 18, 20 degrees temperature. If you have them in your refrigerator, get a bowl with a warm water, put the eggs for like 10-15 minutes, but please, the eggs work properly and better when they are room temperature, especially if you have to whisk or make a sponge cake, pan di Spagna, or something like that. So 2 eggs, then we need, let me see, 90 grams sugar, 90 grams of lard, and this is, I made this lard. So I buy my pork, I melt the lard, and I homemade my grasso. So this is grasso di maiale. This is really, my nonna is very happy with me in this moment, I can tell you. Then I put it aside some milk. You can use water. Using milk is just because it comes more like a biscotto taste. It's more soft if you use milk. And we use this for the biga, because the first step that we're going to do today is making the biga as a starter for our Cuzzupa. So this is kind of make a lavato, so an old-fashioned starter, so like a sourdough. I have my sourdough, but in this case I want to give the opportunity to everybody to make this at home. Again, you found the recipe on my website, lucianoschipano.com, and I hope that you enjoy that, because it's very simple and very easy to do it. You don't have a stand mixer, so a KitchenAid or whatever brand you have, don't worry, it's very easy to do with your hands. You can work out a little bit, because back in the day, it's not always there working out, right? So, go back. I have some anice pirozzi. It's very, very traditional and old. The most known is a Giuffrida or pirozzi. This is something that really, I have like a piece of gold because my godfather gave it to me. So it's a great gift. I have the lemon zest. So I'm gonna do some lemon zest. And I have lievito di birra, fresh yeast. I don't like dry yeast. So if you want to make your lievito di birra, and I want to tell you one thing, okay? Get a piece of this, and you get 25 grams of lievito di birra, 100 grams of farina, flour, and you mix with a little bit of water. So you just solve the yeast in lievito di birra in water. You add flour, and you make like a kind of dough, okay? It doesn't have to taste flour. You keep in your refrigerator for 24 hours, and you make your own lievito di birra. So with 25 grams, you make 125 grams. And then again, when you get to 25 grams, replicate it. So 25 grams lievito di birra, 25 grams water, 100 grams flour. You mix together, you kind of get like a kind of Play-Doh texture, and that's it. So you don't have to go every day at your bakeries or you know, dry yeast. And I tell you something, when I use some of the dry yeast, sometimes doesn't work, and I fail my recipe. And you know what? Especially in this case, there is a long recipe that you need like 4 to 6 hours to make it. you get upset then. So I don't want that you get there. So take these tips, these advices, so for your Cuzzupe di Pasqua today. What I forgot, we're good. So to make the starter, we need a scale, and I suggest everyone to go and get a digital scale, please, because it gives you a precise measurement on when you do your recipe, okay? So 0, take the tar out. You know, in a kitchen, you don't have to be scared. You have to experiment, and everything has a reason. Cooking is a mathematics, okay? There is nothing wrong. And when you bake, of course, everything is precise. So that's what I like baking sometimes, because it's very, measured and detailed feel. When you cook, instead, you may always adjust your spices, your salt, and whatever that you have, you may adjust in the kitchen. But in the baking, has to be precise, because at temperatures or something, but don't be scared, because if you follow the procedure, you follow your heart, your recipe will come very good. Love is the first ingredients overall, okay? So, to make the starter, what I need some of this milk, then I'm gonna microwave for 10 seconds to warm it up, okay? So, I have my microwave here. Because I need a warm, okay, to solve the yeast. I'm gonna wait here 80 grams of my flour. So on 450 grams of this flour, so you can find the recipe on my website again, lucianoskipano.com. So I have here 450 grams of flour. Take up this 80 grams. 75. Okay, so I get 80 grams of this, and I have here my warm milk. So 0, I need 25 grams of this, 15 grams of yeast. So crumble it. More. Okay. Very good. Put this aside. Now we have to melt it. And we are going to mix this in the 80 grams flour. So we're gonna make our starter. It's called in Italian biga, or impasto indiretto. So that's if you follow some of the Italian bloggers or baker chefs, so this is called impasto indiretto or biga. So I like this because it gives to the baking a little bit more energy. So this now is crumbling, so wait for a little bit. Okay, we're almost there. I'm gonna mix, so we don't need the scale now. I'm gonna mix in here. Okay. Very good. So I'm mixing. So I have to make my starter, right? If you think, there is, I think I have to have a little bit more water. You know why? Because I changed my flour just a little bit. I need to have this a little bit more dry, that I don't want it to be sticky. So you're gonna use the same water. So you add some water to clean your spoon. See, the spoon is nice and clean now. So you just get some extra flour. I always use a wooden spoon. Okay, and one thing, if you use wooden spoon in your kitchen, don't use the same spoon to cook, because this may, the wood absorb flavors. So it may take flavors from like your sauce, your rosemary. I don't want to it's not cross-contamination. You don't want to cross the flavors. So this is something that I keep in mind. So I'm just making this dough. Has to be soft. As I told you, I add 80 grams of flour, but I want this to be a little bit more dry, and I add like half in a hand flour. So I'm just making a little bit needed, and it's very, very simple. I feel in my hands it's nice and warm. You know, this is, especially if you don't have time, sometimes, well, we have time now, but, you know, I remember my grandmother or my mother making this overnight, like working a day before, and keep 2 days. But this is a very fast version of Cuzzupe di Pasqua. And if you want to make this last minute, that is very, very simple. And then when you make your dough, see, I use my paws to push it down, okay? See, I don't use my hand because you're gonna ruin your wrist. So push, push, push. Very good. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Very good. So, see, I got my starter. This is called biga. Now, what I'm gonna do with biga, I'm gonna make a sausage. Okay, put this aside. Later on, you're gonna see my tavola, my baking board that I made the other day, my garage. Okay, so now here you just tie it up. You make it like a donut or a zippola, right? The cordura. All right, so you make this, keep here. Now I need the warm water here, okay? Okay, now I put some water here. It's warm, so put your hands. It's like when you have a biberon for the baby, you have to taste the milk. Okay, what I'm gonna do, put my starter in water. That's it. It's straight on the bottom, just went down, okay? Now, put this aside. What is gonna happen? You're gonna discover in a little bit. It's gonna take this probably 30 minutes, 20 minutes or so. Stay tuned because I will be back and I show you, because this is gonna rise and it's gonna stay on top of the water. I didn't want to tell you, but I wanna just make you curious to come back and watch me in a little bit. Meantime, okay, I'm getting ready for the rest of the recipe because this is gonna happen now. I'm gonna just make my lemon zest here. Okay. And I have 1 lemon. I love the smell of lemon in the baking. Okay, I'm gonna then measure my 90 grams of lardo. This is pork lard that I made, but you can buy your Crisco or your pork lard. I know, I don't want to say brands, but here in Canada we have tender flakes. Put this aside. Now I have the sugar, the lard, the eggs. I'm gonna stop this here, come back in 15-20 minutes, so the time that this goes up.